Hey everybody, my name is Angel, and today I'm going to be teaching you how to raise your credit score using this one simple step. So first thing, I'm not going to sit here and tell you what a credit score is. That's easy enough to Google. You'll find a list of all the different factors that make up what your credit score is. But the thing that we're going to be talking about today, one of those factors is your credit to debt ratio. So what does that mean exactly? Let's look at credit cards specifically. You have a credit card, you have $10,000 available on that credit card. You have $5,000 of debt on that credit card. So your credit to debt ratio is 2-to-1. You're using 50% of your credit. So there are 3 credit bureaus here in the United States who define what your credit score is. These credit bureaus don't necessarily want to see that at 0% because that means that you're not using any of the credit available to you. But they don't want to see it too high either. They don't want to see it at like 75, 90% because that means you're using too much of your credit, and they see that as a sign of financial irresponsibility. So one of the tricky things with managing our credit scores is that the credit bureaus don't give us exact details on how they do the math to give us our credit score. But we do know that they see using more than 50% of your score as being a financial liability. But on the other end, they see you having a 0% debt ratio, and they see you as not using your credit at all. So you're not really building up a history of using your credit. So you want to have it between 0 and like 30% really to be on the safe side. Now, I'll be the first to admit, to have 0 to 30% debt in 2019 can be a tricky thing for some people. But what we're going to go over today is going to not only increase your credit score, but it's also going to reduce the amount of debt percentage that you have. Okay, so what are we actually talking about today? I'm talking about increasing the credit to debt ratio that you have. So what does that mean? So we have your debt here, right? And we have your credit available here. So the ratio that we want to increase is this gap in the middle. So how do we do that? One way to do that is to reduce the amount of debt that you have available, right? You want to try to get that as close to 0 as possible. Or the other thing, which is what we're actually going to do today, is increase your credit limit. So earlier this week, I made a payment against my American Express card. Right in the app, after I made that payment, I looked up, how do I increase my credit limit? From there, I was taken to a form on their website, and I filled it out in about 2 minutes. Got a response right away, and had the increase to my credit card available within 15 minutes. So what does that actually do for me? So every month, I make a payment against my credit card, reducing my debt a little bit, and a little bit, and a little bit more, right? So I see my credit score go up by a few points every time I do that. But this month, in addition to reducing my debt, I increased my credit limit. And that made that gap in the middle, that made that ratio of credit versus debt even bigger. So next month, when I check my credit score, instead of seeing maybe 1 or 2 points of an increase, I should see several points increase. So why is this even important? A good credit score affects your ability to negotiate with financial institutions for the things that you want. It helps with getting the amount of money that you want from them. It helps with getting the interest rates that you want from them. And in the end, what we're trying to do is set up as best of a financial situation for ourselves as possible. If I can get to a place where I'm paying 11% interest instead of 16% interest on a credit card, I mean, anybody would take that, right? That's going to be a lot of money saved over time. One of the things that I really like about this technique is that anybody can do it. Like I said, I did it right through my app. I never had to talk to anybody, and it only took me a few minutes. I know a lot of people get nervous to talk to somebody about their financial situation. They get nervous to call their banks or call their credit cards to try to negotiate things. And there's really none of that in this case. There's absolutely no reason for anybody watching this video not to pause it right now, go into your payment app, and try to see where it is that you can increase your credit limit. In fact, I want everybody to do that right now. Pause this video, go grab your phone, log onto your credit card app, and find out how you can increase your credit limit right now. It's a super easy step that everybody should be doing. But the thing is, the credit card companies are not going to do this for you. They're not going to give you free credit. They're not going to give you this free money. You have to ask for it. One thing that I will add is that you can only do this once every 6 months. But that means that you can do it twice a year for every credit card that you have. So as you continue to make payments against your credit cards, you can also get increases on the amount of credit that you have available. So just to recap, what we were talking about today was increasing your credit score by increasing the ratio of credit to debt that you have on your credit cards. Now, the standard way of doing that is to make payments against that debt, which reduces your debt. It reduces the percentage of debt that you have on those credit cards. But the technique that we were exploring today was looking at the other end of that spectrum and increasing the amount of credit that you have available. Again, if you didn't do it before, I hope you guys do it now that the video is wrapping up. It only takes a few minutes. You don't have to talk to anybody, and then you don't have to think about it again for another 6 months. You set yourself a reminder in your calendar, and then you do it again, and then you do it again, and then you do it again. Just a couple times a year, and that's it. If you thought this information was helpful, I hope you give it a thumbs up. Hit subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. And as always, I appreciate your time. Thanks, and I'll talk to you soon.